I get to go first because I'm the one making the decisions. Now, before I start, let me just preface this with I love esports and esports events, and without them, I literally would not have a job. So I just want to get that out of the way before I start saying that there are way too many esports events throughout the year. And this isn't the reason that you guys might think. I actually think this is a problem for pro players. Because when you're, for example, a League of Legends player, you have a season that is 10 months long, and then in the off season there are more third-party tournaments for them to attend. And in order to get paid as an esports player, particularly in esports that aren't League of Legends, you have to participate in as many events as you possibly can in order to make money. And I think this is a huge problem for the career longevity of a lot of these players because it's super, super easy to burn out. Like you're seeing on the screen now, like when these players lose a major tournament, they're crushed. I mean, they're competitive players, right? And they don't have enough downtime to come back from those mistakes. I mean, you even saw that contributing to the temporary retirement of Doublelift this year. So do you guys think that this is a huge issue for esports? Do you think that there is a way to solve this while still allowing players to focus on the game and making money in doing so? Or do you think that this is just going to be the way that esports is going to have to be from now on?
So are you asking whether the seasons themselves are too long and we should have shorter seasons, but like have them fill the year as well? Or is it more like, are you asking them, are you saying the tournaments themselves are like,
I think that there needs to be actual time for players to take time off and like be with friends and be with family and actually relax, because otherwise it's just going to be, nobody can play the same video game for 12 months out of the year without burning out.
Well, on the League of Legends side, I think part of the problem is that like there's one big event that everyone really cares about in Worlds and like getting to Worlds and all that. And so like it's not just that it's a long season, but it's like not punctuated well with like other meaningful benchmarks. Like you have spring split, which is pretty important, but that's like the only thing you have. And you start practicing in December, and to start practicing like in December for something that you might see payoff for in October, or I guess September is when you kind of find out if you're going. Yeah, it's so much later than like, oh, there's a big tournament coming up, let's practice for that. So I think League of Legends has a little bit of a unique problem where they have like super long seasons that are monotone in a sense. And I think if they had some other structures where it's like, oh, big tournament, small time off, big tournament, small time off, where you're seeing results beyond just something way in the distance, it could be better for them.
I mean, but in other esports, in order to survive and make money, they have to play week in and week out and get more and more prize money in order to just be a professional player. And there's no salary to fall back on necessarily. And I mean, that seems like an issue to me.
Right, but that being said, teams still, like the players themselves aren't contractually obliged to attend every single tournament. Like they can still decide to opt out of certain tournaments. Like we saw that happen with IAM this weekend. Like major teams didn't choose to attend, maybe because they wanted to take time off. So I think it's nice to have all these opportunities for teams to play in tournaments if they wish to, or if they have players who are keen to do that. But that the fact that they're not being forced to play every single tournament, right? But like you said, the problem is also like having to make money as well.
Michael, is this a problem in the fighting game scene? I mean, I know the Capcom Pro Tour is unbelievably long.
It ran from February until I guess this month, with Capcom Cup being next month. There were 73 events total, including Capcom Cup, and I mean, that's a long season. That's a huge amount of events, and we're not even considering, as you kind of mentioned, like I guess off-season events or events kind of sprinkled in between all of those CPT events. I had an interesting conversation with John Takeuchi at Red Bull Battlegrounds, who flew in from Japan and was trying to qualify for Capcom Cup. And one of the things he mentioned was when the Capcom Pro Tour ended, he was looking forward to the chance to actually go back home and just training. The entire time that he spent traveling, he's just been playing and competing, but playing other people sort of as they come along in tournaments and not really working on matchups. So that's a thing that I think fighting game players face, this issue of not having the time to really train like maybe they should, or some players. And I think when we think about esports and like these pros, that it's still to me sort of like the 1% or maybe the 5% that are able to do this full time. And we still have to consider, these other players that aren't playing at events full time or don't earn a salary. So do I think there's too many events or seasons are too long? Yes. How you fix that, I'm just not sure. Maybe more people should watch esports and they can make more money.
Well, we're going to get to that in a second, Michael. I know you really, really want to talk about how much people watch FGC, but Mark, you had something to add?
Yeah, it was just going to be that it's not like if you make it so there's less tournaments and more downtime. These guys have other career options. It's not like they just sit at home and they're like, oh man, there's no tournament on. I'll just play the game for fun. They stream. They have sponsorship requirements, assuming they're signed to a team. They can like do a lot of different stuff. They can like make content. They have other options available. They don't need to just sit there and wait for the next big esport event. And I think the more like mandated ones that you feel pressured to go to, like the Capcom Pro Tour or like the LCS, where you have to actually attend that every single week. I think that's where a lot of the pressure comes from. Whereas if it was just like, oh, there's a ton of tournaments, we'll go to the biggest ones and a couple of these side ones that we'll sprinkle in. I think if the scenes had more freedom in that sense, you would see maybe less burnout because it's like, hey, I'm just not feeling it this month. Like, let's skip these smaller ones. We'll go to the big one and that's it. But there are a lot of benefits that come from these more organized ones as well. So it's not as like black and white as like, oh man, there's too much structure now and teams are getting burnt out because they're required. I think it's somewhere in the middle.
I mean, I think the problem is less the structure and more the fact that there is. I mean, if you look at Counter-Strike, there are tournaments every single weekend. So it just seems like a lot of time and effort being put into being competitive.